Hello, Alan Ryder, Southeastern Railway Museum, and welcome to part 3 of our adventures with former CSX 8954. And as I promised in the last video, this is Kevin Wood. Kevin is the guy who was responsible for getting this locomotive donated to us. And Kevin, if you'd explain a little bit about the history of the locomotive and how it wound up at CSX's training center and how we wound up with it.
Okay, sure. So 8954 was built in December of 1974 for the Seaboard Coastline. And at that time, it was numbered 2049. As it progressed Seaboard Coastline into Seaboard System, into CSX, of course, the locomotive moved along with those and was renumbered into CSX's numbering system, where it came in the 8900s with the other SD45s. Around 2010, the locomotive was at Huntington Locomotive Shop, and they did a double truck change under it and did some engine work. And since it has a 20-cylinder engine in it, they decided to retire it. They retired it operable, and it was sent to the training center. And I'll never forget, because the tag on it said, "Send to Kevin for mechanical training at CSX Ready Center," because I was mechanical, electrical, and air brake trainer there at the CSX Atlanta Ready Center. Well, the locomotive sat there for quite a while, and when CSX decided to cut a bunch of jobs and close the training center, I decided that, you know, this locomotive, and this locomotive, by the way, is the last, or was the last 20-cylinder locomotive, or SD45 series locomotive on CSX, and it was used in maintenance away before it was retired. Well, in 2017, when they closed the Ready Center, I was able to get a donation request put in because I still had, you know, enough contacts, and I knew how to go into the system. And I requested a donation, and I explained that Dash 2 locomotives are now starting to fade away, and this is a perfect example. And I think there were only like 136 of these SD45-2s built. So that was a nice catch. So we asked for the donation, and I got a phone call one day on my cell phone and said, "Hey, we want to donate this locomotive. Can you help us with some information?" Well, sure, absolutely. And so that's kind of how it happened. The locomotive was it was parked at the Ready Center. Myself, Andrew Durden, and Ricky Durden went down and kind of did a quick inspection on it, found that it was in perfect condition. And then CSX moved it to interchange for Norfolk Southern. Norfolk Southern brought it here to the museum. It sat here for a few years. We've tried to tinker with it some, but in the past month and a half, we've been able to get it to the point where it loads and it runs by itself. And for me, that means a lot, because I've seen that locomotive sit there for a long time and not do what it needed to do, and now it does.
All right. Well, thank you much, Kevin. And like he says, we've got her going. We've got her where she moves. Still a fair bit of increasingly minor things that need to be taken care of, and we'll be talking about some of those as this video progresses. There's always been an accumulation of water in this engine room sump, so I reached down in there, and you can probably hardly see it, but that's where the drain is. And I probably dug out about a pound or two of rust and crud and pieces of stuff, and now it sort of drains. Well, after cleaning out everything from the inside, I went ahead and decided to go ahead and take the drain hose off. Use that nice big giant pipe wrench. Turned out it wasn't quite as tight as I thought it would be, but got the hose off. And there's some more treasures that I had to dig out, including a water bottle or sample bottle or whatever it is. So it would have never drained properly, but we got it clear now. And now back together just like it should be. So why am I standing in front of this boxcar? Well, we made a good discovery. and it'll help out with 8954. I'll use our diesel-powered boxcar door opener over here, you'll see in a second, and we'll unveil the pleasant surprise. So what have we got in here? Well, let's climb up and I will show you. Besides a lot of junk, and there it is, stashed behind all sorts of objects. I think this thing is an old baggage or ice cart, shelves, a generator back there, more junk. Way back in the shadows is a compressor. But this is what we're looking for. This is a Gardner Denver WBO compressor, exactly like what's on 8954. And this is what we need. That is a low pressure head. It has two, they're identical. And so we are in really good shape. All we got to do is take it off. And that will be the next step. Well, with the help of Andrew and Ryan, compressor head is out and sitting on the backhoe. So everything is wonderful. Now all we have to do is take all the junk over to the other side, clean it up, and go from there. Okay, air compressor head is off. I got it stood up on its side, and we'll give you a real quick tour. This is the side that goes against the liner, and this is the suction side, so air comes in here through this valve, and then when the piston comes up, that valve closes, this valve opens, and air comes out the top from here up to here, and then it goes to the high pressure head and it's further compressed. And these openings on the side are where the cooling water comes in. I don't remember whether it's an inlet or an outlet, but we'll assume it's an inlet. So water comes in here, and from there it goes around the outside of the water jacket in the head. These are the openings where cooling water goes through those openings and down into the liner to cool the liner. And what we found, you can see all this red stuff here. That's rust from inside the water jacket. I've gotten a lot of it out. We're going to probably get a compressor and blow the rest of it out. But what happens on these things, and it's what killed the one on 8954, is water or debris and rust accumulates right in here where my finger is, and it gets wet, doesn't drain properly. It would if there wasn't rust and dirt in there, but it doesn't drain properly out, and so it freezes. You know, it gets wet, it freezes, and that's what cracks this. So that's a 10-cent tour of an air compressor head. Okay, pardon the racket. I'm going to actually be making more, but use air compressor air to blow all the debris out of the water passages. Chris suggested we wear masks. That probably would have been a good idea. That's just one side. And here we go again. Wow, that's probably not all of it, but that's as far as I'm going to go right now. This thing probably lost 10 pounds with all that debris blown out of it. I'm testing the unloader mechanism. When pressure satisfied, the compressor control magnet valve puts air pressure on the top of the unloader mechanism, and that presses down against the inlet valves and opens them so that there's no airflow. And in this test, I'm just using a compressed air to do the same thing. And you can't see anything, but you can hear the unloader moving back and forth. Okay, we're going to test the valves, or try to. And this is the inlet. So normally air would flow this way, but I'm going to pour water in backwards and see if anything comes out. It shouldn't. So I'm not seeing anything there. So it looks like the inlet valve's okay for this test. And we'll turn it around. And air flows this way through the exhaust valve. So you turn it over, hopefully not smash my fingers or anything like that. You can see the water, the valve held, the inlet valve held the water. Now we'll turn it over. And we shouldn't see any water coming out over here, except where it overflows. And that's just the water overflowing. And don't see anything coming out there, so the valves look good. Okay. One last thing. You saw the volcano of dust. I'm going to try flushing these water passages out with real water and see what happens. Still getting more junk out of it. Well, if nothing else, we've got the big pieces out, so that'll be it for the water. Well, this about does it. We've got this head removed, qualified, cleaned up, and that makes a pretty good stopping point for this video because we've got to order new gaskets for it. And so once we get the gaskets, we'll pull the old head off of 8954 and put this one on. And with the conclusion of this video, I want to thank you for watching, and certainly thank all the folks who helped me get it off. That was Elijah, who's taking pictures right now, Ryan, Andrew, Chris, and the whole team. So thank you very much, and come see us sometime, Southeastern Railway Museum in Duluth, Georgia. So if you liked the video, say so. Click the like button or subscribe. We appreciate all the help we can get, and thank you very much.